I'm Isla Bennett. And once upon a time, I believed code could change the world. Naive? Maybe. But that belief kept me alive. 11 years ago, I walked into the Seattle headquarters of High-End Dynamics with nothing but a refurbished laptop, a secondhand backpack, and a fire in my chest so bright it burned holes through my doubts. I wasn't born into privilege. I grew up in the Rust Belt of Western Pennsylvania, a place where factories shut down, jobs dried up, and futures felt like myths. We didn't even own a computer. Forget Wi-Fi, forget coding boot camps or tech mentors. All I had was an old public library, dust on the shelves, and the glow of outdated monitors. And that's where I found Python. Every algorithm I wrote in those early years felt like bricks laid carefully, patiently. Architecture, logic that could last. My cathedral became High-End's data orchestration platform. I gave that company everything. Vacations, skipped, birthdays, forgotten, friendships, sacrificed, nights bled into mornings, energy drinks into migraines, all for the dream that my work mattered, that maybe I mattered. And then, it ended. Not with a handshake, not even with a face, just an email. 6 cold words. Your position has been terminated. No explanation, no gratitude, no humanity. Slack access revoked, my login ghosted. 11 years erased in less time than it takes to hit send. I sat in my 1-bedroom Capitol Hill apartment, spoon hovering over a chipped bowl of dry oatmeal, pajamas unwashed, air purifier wheezing like an old man, Pixel, my cat, pawing at the silence. I was nobody, again. Out of desperation, I opened a freelancing site. Listings screamed for AI ninjas, ML rock stars, equity only, free. Snacks included. I almost laughed. Almost. Then my eyes landed on a headline that froze my breath. High-End merger collapses over software rights dispute. $600 million. Gone. Over core architecture conflict. I knew exactly what that meant. I was the architecture. Every function, every patch, every backbone. They couldn't erase me. Not really. The next morning, I found it. An envelope. Thick, heavy. My name in sharp legal font. Carson and Adler LLP. San Francisco Corporate Litigation. My hands shook as I opened it. Dear Miss Bennett, we represent Arian Technologies in relation to patent number US 10 446 which lists you as the sole inventor. A patent? Mine? I barely remembered, but when I typed that number into the USPTO database, there it was. My diagrams, my code, buried years ago in onboarding paperwork. They thought I'd forgotten. They thought I'd fade into silence, but they were wrong. High-End had tried to wipe me off their map. But the foundation they stood on? It had my signature carved into its bones. 6 years earlier, Martin Keene, mentor, CTO, Maverick, had warned me. Don't trust them, Isla. Don't trust the suits. He forced that manila folder into my hands. File. This yourself, not them. You'll thank me later. At the time, I thought he was paranoid. Now I realized he'd seen the storm before the clouds even formed. That night, I couldn't sleep. I covered my apartment in sticky notes, napkins, takeout menus covered with code flows and scribbles. I retraced every line they tried to bury, every kernel they pretended to own. At 3:17 a.m., I stared at the glowing patent number on my screen. This wasn't just code. It was proof. Proof they couldn't silence me anymore. By morning, I wasn't the girl they fired. I was the woman holding the detonator to their empire. And I was done playing by their rules. That's when Mason Caldwell called. High-end CEO. A man who could sell a dream while stealing your wallet. His voicemail dripped fake warmth. Ela, let's reconnect. Water under the bridge, right? Just a small mix-up with that patent thing. Mix-up? I wrote that system while Mason was busy sipping scotch and rehearsing keynote speeches. I didn't call back. I called Martin. He answered with gravel in his throat. Took them long enough. They fired you, didn't they? Before the merger? Yes, I whispered. Classic. Then he gave me a name, Lydia Alvarez, IP lawyer. Reputation, ruthless. When I called, her laugh was cold steel. Oh, sweetheart, you've got them by the throat. For the first time in weeks, I didn't feel disposable. I felt dangerous. Fast forward, boardroom. Arian Technologies, Seattle skyline gleaming through glass walls. Mason sat across from me, collar damp with sweat, smile rehearsed, lawyers flanking him like broken chess pieces. He pushed a contract toward me, consultant title, press credit, a payout that reeked of hush money. Let's fix this mix-up. I leaned in, voice steady. Mix-up? No, Mason. I built your kingdom. And while you were polishing speeches, you fired me with a blank email. Now your merger is dead because you never even knew what you had. This isn't a negotiation, it's a handover, and I'm not the one sweating. I slid my own document across the table. Exclusive licensing talks with Arian. Signed, sealed, done. Mason's face turned the color of printer paper. His lawyers wilted in silence. I stood. Good luck with your board. I hear they're not thrilled. And I walked out. Today, my name is etched on a steel plate in an office overlooking Elliott Bay. Bennett, Chief IP Strategist. Not interim, not junior. Just me. Arian bought the patent. They bought me. My signing bonus erased my mother's medical debt, my loans, and left enough for a home with real sunlight. Meanwhile, high-end dynamics burns in the headlines. Caldwell under investigation. Board imploding. Lawsuits piling. I didn't play his voicemail of regret. I just forwarded it to Martin. His reply? A gif of a wolf howling at the moon. Perfect. Now I sip coffee roasted by women in tech co-ops, pixel sleeps, in a sunbeam. And for the first time in my life, I feel something I'd almost forgotten. Freedom. I'm not a ghost in oversized sweats, begging to be seen. I'm not someone else's invisible backbone. I am the woman who wrote their system and then walked away with its soul. They tried to bury me, but I was the seed. And now, I build something new. Not just cleaner code, a cleaner future. If my story meant something to you, stick around. Because this isn't just about me. This is about every coder, every underdog, every quiet fighter who refuses to disappear. Because sometimes, one keystroke can bring down empires. And sometimes, it builds something no one saw coming.